Hey folks, it's me again. Today we're going to talk to you about factions at war for your allegiance. This update cuts at the very heart of really what the Consortium experience is about. It's very much what the first Consortium experience is about, in fact. In Zenlo, you were completely immersed in the Consortium faction. It meant that all the information you were getting was being filtered by the Consortium king. All the people you're interacting with few exceptions, there were a few exceptions, but the vast majority of them were Consortium officers. So everybody believes in the Consortium as being a source of good in the world. Now, there is some hints throughout the Consortium experience that may or may not be 100% true. There's some hidden puzzles that lead you access to there being other factions. Karol Angelov, the main antagonist, you can learn all sorts of things about the world at large and learn that there is some mysterious enemy that apparently is strongly against the Consortium for some reason. So in the tower, we're looking to bring all of that to the next level. And by that, I mean an order of magnitude scale shift. So rather than being in a tight environment with a crew and the artificial political environment that we created in the first game was all about individual people liking and disliking you, in the tower, we'll be scaling it up. So it's more about individual factions liking you and disliking you, and more about interfactional conflicts that you can get in the middle of and have an effect over. And I mean that in an extreme way. The mysterious benefactors you saw in the main pitch video, they're not evil. They're not liking you being nasty and killing. It may have come across that way a bit in the pitch, but it's actually much more complex than that. The world you will find yourself in the tower is a very, very gray place. After coming out of the Consortium-centric viewpoint in the first game, during the mission in the tower, you'll have many other people trying to get your attention. But there are two major factions, and both appear to be extremely good and beneficial. But both want you to believe the other side is clearly bad. So the very nature of why they're in conflict, the nature of their conflict, in itself is a really big mystery, and that'll be your job to solve. So based on either choices you make when you begin the tower, or choices you've made when playing the first game, you'll be assigned one of four classes. They're really simple. The first one is the Conciliator. Conciliator prefers using diplomacy over force. The next, you could be called a neutralizer, and it's quite the opposite of conciliator. You prefer force over diplomacy. Next is covert. You prefer to get the job done as simply as possible, avoiding all conflict and diplomacy if you can. Fourth is Proteus, a mix of all styles. You're sort of a jack of all trades. So the more important thing is that based on what you're labeled, you will be perceived in the world by both the news, the police, any random person you happen to stumble upon, any of the potential combatants you engage in conversation with. They will know you. Your reputation will precede you. Your class is known to everybody. So they'll assume, for instance, if you're known as a neutralizer, many of the potential combatants will have a stronger, higher agitation meter. They'll assume that you're going to shoot first, ask questions later. So it'd be much harder to get involved in diplomacy. Similarly, if you're a conciliator, the agitation meter will be lower for many of the guys, which means that you'll have a greater chance of being able to diplomacy. If you're seen as a Proteus bishop, then it's really basically kind of a wild card. People won't know whether you're going to shoot at them or whether you're going to talk at them. It's a bit of a dice roll in terms of what kind of reactions you'll get. Now, if you're known as a covert bishop, this is the most rare form of bishop in the world. You'll be seen with mystery and awe and fear. There will be no modifiers to their agitation meters. So while if you're a neutralizer, their agitation meters will be higher in general because they'll expect to fight. If you're a conciliator, their agitation meters will be generally lower because they'll expect to talk. If you're a Proteus, be a bit of a random modifier to the agitation meter because they don't know. But if you're a covert, they'll all be as written. They'll all be as written by the writer in terms of their personality. There'll be no modifiers at all. True neutral. So this stuff's really important to us simply because we want to increase immersion, and we believe that by having NPCs, characters, factions in the world aware of what type of player you are can further increase the feeling that you're making a real impact on the world, that your style is being imprinted on the world around you, and people can talk to you in a way that is more comfortable with your style and how you have played the experience so far.